You will no longer hear beeps until someone else joins the conference.
All right, we're about to start this webinar on authenticating the birth certificate and the process you need to authenticate. Just waiting for a few people to get in. Looks like only got one person. They look like on here. Just waiting for the rest of the people that paid to get in, and when they get in, we gonna rock and roll. All right. I see everybody can see my screen. I was still trying to wait on a few other people to get in here. Can y'all hear me clearly? I hear somebody came in. Oh, okay, good. All right. I'm just waiting on a few more people that paid. Um, I think what the problem was, the email I sent later, they didn't see the times on it. So I'm about to correct that right now. If I can go back. Where's the email I sent it? Huh? You good? Shaka El Bay said he can't hear me. Why he can't hear me? Like I could hear you, Khalifa, but Shaka El Bay said he can't hear me. Khalifa, let me fix this here. See if this will do it. That's not what I want. Said nope. Let's see. Oh, he said I was muted. Uh, how did I get muted? I didn't mute my mic. No, I'm good. My mic's not muted. All right, Khalifa, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I hit that all button. Now, Shaka El Bay, can you hear? Okay. I must have hit that button not knowing what I was doing. Let me see. Yeah, get to Florida. When you get to Florida, I think I'm gonna try to switch the screen over to you. One of the guys, L Solutions, wants to learn Florida. How to get? Was you born in Florida? Okay, man, we're gonna go get started. I don't know. Some of these people ain't getting in. It's already 8:41. I'm recording it anyway, so whoever don't get in or who paid for it, I'll just ship them the DVD. But I just want to make sure this guy Shaka can hear. He said he can't hear, but you can hear me. He might need to call in. He's on the web. He might need to call in from his phone. He's not responding. All right, I'm gonna get started. Cause all right, where was I? I had pulled up. All right, this is the thanks for joining in on the webinar. We still got quite a few people to get in, but on how to authenticate the birth certificate. But first, I want to start off on why we doing the authentication process in the first place. So we go to Minnesota Rule 220, and it says here, birth certificates. The Registrar of Titles is authorized to receive for registration of memorials upon any outstanding certificate of title an official birth certificate pertaining to a registered owner named in said certificate of title, showing the date of birth of said registered owner, providing there is uh, attached to said birth certificate and affidavit of an affiant who states she is familiar with the facts decided stating that the party named in said birth certificate is the same party as one of the owners named in said certificate of title, and that thereafter the registrar of title shall treat said registered owner as having attained the age of majority at a date 18 years after the date of birth shown by said certificate. All right. So this is why we are authenticating the birth certificate, because once you get it authenticated and you put your affidavit to it, you become the owner. And you're authenticating because you are verifying those signatures that have said that that was a true copy of your birth certificate. You want to authenticate it all the way up. Some states, there was a time when Jonah taught you have to do it at the county, the state, and the Secretary of State of the United States level. But some states don't do it at the county. Like in South Carolina, they do not do it at the county. So you just take the long form birth certificate over to the state, authenticate it, use Taiwan, because that's the one we know you're going to get the authentication, and um, then send it off to the Secretary of State of the United States, and you'll get it authenticated. Of course, you got to pay those fees. Oh, now, what I wanted to do was the best place to go that I know was Vital Check. And there it is, birth certificate. And then you can get it any one of these records here. These states contract. Somebody just joined. Who is that? Shaka. Okay, you can hear now. All right, good, good. All right. Um, and here, um, stand by, y'all. I gotta stand by 1 second. I gotta take this call from my son. Hang on. Yeah, what's up? You can go. Why, you need me to take you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can go. All right. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. He don't usually call this late. I thought maybe something was wrong. All right. All right. Everybody can hear me? Back. Hello? Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Now look at this page here. Here's all of the states pretty much here. I think there's a few missing here that you can, state agents who provide birthday records. You can go right here, look, and see. Then they have U.S. citizens born abroad, and it has what you can do if you were born abroad. and the things you need here. Um, and you say start your order, my birth certificate. Now it's going to ask for some details on you. Um, like y'all can see my screen, right? Okay. And then I I could I picked the state I was born in, which is New York. Then it asked me for the borough. Now I'm gonna get to a certain part. I'm gonna let y'all see it, but I'm gonna blank it out when I type in some personal information. Bronx, bam. Now it's asking for this. So you get to that part, and the thing about this is, if your information is not correct, it's gonna tell you to call in a lot of times. But if it is correct, it'll move you to the next level. So I'm gonna blank out the screen for a second. Hang on, and put my information in. All right, now can y'all see my screen again? All right, now here it is. See where it says apostille authentication? Right there. That's what you want. And now there's the fees. Select, continue. Now it's telling me what the fees are. Now there's something missing here. The shipping fee is not in there yet. So it looks like that's all I'm going to pay for this. And then once I type in my name, they're going to give me how much this thing going to cost me. Bam, and then they're going to like mail. Then they're going to ask me for the hospital. This is where a lot of people get hung up at. They don't know the hospital they're born in when they're looking for this information. And then it's going to give me everything I need for where I'm going, the birth certificate that I need. And that's basically it, because after that, it's going to show me what my fees are once I put the hospital in. Bam. That's how you order that. Uh, let's go back. See if I can go back to, let me go home. Same thing. Now it's remembering that application. But basically, it's the same thing for all the other states. Now, when my wife did it, she did it for Virginia, and they made her call in because what Virginia does, when you tell them what you want, a loan form, they'll do everything for you there. All right, hang on. Let's go to another state now. Somebody I knew. I'm doing Puerto Rico for the sake of because somebody I know wants to know about Puerto Rico. Here it is, Puerto Rico. Tells you where to order at, and here they are. They use vitalcheck.com. Same situation. Very easy. And when you click that, it's going to take me to VitalCheck again. Bam. Um, what I'm going to do, how do I don't want that screen. I got an Apple, so if somebody just joined in. Who's that just joined? Okay. All right. This is Hawaii. Now, this one, I want to go to Hawaii because I had a guy who was trying to authenticate, and he said, well, they don't do authentications. Now, who is eligible for apostille? Now I'm reading this here. See, it says apostilles, but if you read in here, it says a certified copy of birth, death, civil union, marriage, or divorce certificate issued by the state of Ohio may need to be officially authenticated in order that it is to be recognized and accepted by government officials of foreign countries. See, now they're not saying apostille, they're saying authenticate now. See, that's why we have to read. For those, I'm going to skip over to this one. For those foreign countries who are nations that have joined the 1961 Hague Convention, the authentication process requires just one official form called an apostille to accompany the birth, death, civil union, marriage, or divorce certificate. In the state of Hawaii, apostilles are prepared by the Office of a Lieutenant Governor. For nations who have not joined the convention, the authentication process requires two separate forms to accompany the certificate. In Hawaii, one of these forms is called a certification and is prepared by the Lieutenant Governor's office. The third form is called an authentication and prepared by the state circuit court. Any person applying for a certified copy of birth, death, civil union, marriage, or divorce certificate is eligible to apply for its authentication if necessary for international purposes. Now, here it tells how to apply in Hawaii. If you require a certified copy of a birth, I'm skipping all over the birth certificate to be authenticated for international legalization, you may request authentication at the same time you request a certified copy of the certificate. The Department of Health will coordinate with the Lieutenant Governor's office and State Circuit Court to have the official forms prepared and attached to the certificate being issued. So basically, you have to let them know what you're trying to do. And there are separate fees charged, so we have to pay attention to that. I had a caller on our call earlier who was mailing in stuff, but he didn't mail the fees. And then he was mailing it to the wrong place. So that tells me he was not reading the instructions. Um, Here it is, they break down. The first money order cashier's check should be made payable to the State Department of Health and will serve as payment for the certificate. The fee is $10 for the first copy of the certificate and $4 for each additional copy of same certificate ordered at the same time. There's also a $2.50 portal administration fee for each certificate order up to 5 copies. A second money order cashier's check should be made payable to the Office of Lieutenant Governor will serve as payment for either our apostille or the certification, whichever is needed. The fee is $1 per certificate to be authenticated. Then here's the third money order. Here, then you got to send it to the First Circuit Court in Hawaii, which is most places is just to the state. Your last process for the state. But here's first, so that's why it's very important to read your state rules. And if you notice, there is no vital check here. So that means this person will have to do everything directly through them. And if you have questions, here's the number. So I just did Hawaii because that was an interesting one for me. And the guy said, my state don't do authentications. I said, all of them have to do it. Like, because it's for foreign purposes. That's what authentications are used for. And coincidentally, we're using it to do what? To become foreign from their jurisdiction. That's what we're using it for. But they're not telling us that in here. So, and remember the country that you pick. That's why we say Taiwan, as I mentioned earlier. Because you pick any one of these at the 1961 Hague Convention, you are going to get an apostille. Now, we do know in some areas that's all you can get is an apostille. But I haven't found a state yet that you couldn't get authenticated. You know of any, Khalifa? Yeah. Right. You know, sorry about that. All right. Here, I'm gonna go to New York. Then what I'm gonna do is for the people that we have on, we're gonna pull up your state, and we're gonna go there and figure out how to get you that birth certificate. First, let me find New York's rules. Uh, I have it printed, but that's Hawaii, Puerto Rico. All right, where's New York? Thought I had them all together because New York has a detailed process. They have detail on how to do it. I got so many dang bookmarks. That's New York Constitution right there. I think this is it.
One number or another number. Then it says access code 9368185.
Hey, Marie,
Oh, hello?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry about that.
You all up in there like just chatting? This is not a chat room.
Well, Solution is on. I'm on the line with Solution. He's asking me how to get on, and so I was testing it out for him so that he can get on. And I guess he's not on the right thing because he doesn't hear you.
He can't hear me. Tell him to call in. He
Okay,
should be able to
and
do it.
call into the last number that he received.
Yeah, it's a number in that email. In the thing. Hang on. Let me pull up the code for you real quick. All right.
I apologize.
It's all right. You know how y'all ladies do. Y'all just be bogarting, man. You just missed Puerto Rico. We were doing Puerto Rico for you. All right, tell him to call in at 1-571 316. Uh-huh. 317-3131. That's correct. And then he's got to enter that access code. 274-374-309.
Okay, I'll let him know right now. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Where was I? Okay, I pulled up New York. Oh, we're not going to read all of that. Well, you know what? I am going to read this part. No, I'm going to read the whole thing for New York. Oh, and just I use New York because it's one of the states where you have to register at the county. And here's the rules. It says for various purposes, individuals may be required to obtain official authenticated proof of name, birth, marriage, etc. The authentication certifies the signature and capacity of the official who executed the document. The New York Secretary of State authenticates public documents for use in foreign countries. One such proof is known as a apostille. They always throw the apostille out there, which is issued pursuant to the 1961 Hague Convention abolishing requirement of legislation for foreign public documents. A certificate of authentication is issued to authenticate public documents for use in countries that are not signatories to the 1961 Hague Convention. The documents in question must be public documents issued in New York State and signed by a notary public, a county clerk, or a state official. The necessity for an apostille or certificate of authentication is determined by the foreign country or destination. Once again, the country you use will give you either apostille or authentication. Once again, I will say use Taiwan. That guarantees authentication. Before a person may request an apostille or certificate of authentication from the Department of State, he or she must obtain a copy of the document and have the document authenticated by a county clerk. That's the first level, or other appropriate official or in certain instances, the document must be notarized and the signature of the notary must be authenticated by the county clerk. An apostille or certificate of authentication issued by New York Secretary of State is a one-page document with blue laser printed facsimile of the New York Department of State seal. Both the apostille and certification of authentication include, oh, I'm reading all over again. Basically, it's just telling you what that's going to look like. Now, step one, obtaining the record, proof of birth. In order to authenticate, you do need the proof of birth. If a person requires official proof of his or her birth in New York City with an apostille or certificate of authentication, the application must first obtain a copy of the birth certificate with a letter of an exemplification from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene by the Records Division, 125 Worth Street. They even give you the address. But when you go to vital statistics, you'll be able to get that. This is vital record. See, right here. Um, but you can go to Vital Check and order that. That's why I ordered it from New York. Here's the fees here. Then the second step, county clerk. Third step is to the New York State Department of State. And here's the addresses here. Then after that, it goes to the Secretary of State. You know what? Let me pull that up. I know I got that bookmark. Let me see. See if I can get that Secretary of State. You got that link to the Secretary of State, Khalifa? Because it's going to take me a minute to find that. Yeah. You know what I'll do? Good old Google helps out a lot. I always do Secretary of State. If I can spell it right. Secretary of State. Not on what South Carolina's. There we go. I've seen some people get theirs with the signature of John Kerry on it. Um, Authentication. All right. Office of Authentications. Computer moving a little slow. Come on. Yeah, they switch it around, but I found it on the first go. Yeah, they switch it up. You have to be careful. Um, Here it is right here. Um, Office of Authentication. This is the final stage of the authentication process. Uh, where you will send it to get authenticated. And it has here authentication certification requirements. You need this form. If you have Internet Explorer, you can fill it out online. If you don't, you can print it out and fill it out. And here's the actual form. You fill it out with your information. People get confused. Uh, Number of documents to be authenticated. You put one. That's it. Because all they're going to look at is the last signature and authenticate that. And well, that's what I put. In document type, you put birth certificate and send the appropriate fees with it. Um, if you have more than one, they have enough space to put all of that down there. Um, What else here that you might need? Document type, country, number of document. The country is Taiwan. Again, Taiwan in that section right there. When you with the documents you're gonna get authenticated, and then how many documents? One, and then the cost. If you're only doing one, I think this one costs $8 for this. Oh, they charge $8 for it. Where are the fees at? Hang on. Okay, here's the fees are right here. Uh, let's see, services right there, $8 per document. So just make sure you pay. They take credit card here. Some states don't. They want certified checks or money order, but Secretary of States take that and take notice of these addresses. If you walking it in there, this is the address you want to use. If you're mailing it, this is the address you want to use. And I recommend everybody send it at least uh, priority mail with the where you could track it. You know, when you send it, I've seen people just put it in an envelope and I don't know what happened there. Why did they do that? They put it in the envelope and no tracking. So they, how long does it take to get it back? It could take. I've seen it take 2 weeks, and I've seen it take a month and a half. It just depends on the time of the year or who gets your packet and wants to process it. All right, I went over a couple of states. I'm going to take some questions. Uh, Somebody here said run North Carolina. All right, let's start with that one. Yeah, DS4194 is the name of the form that you have to fill out and put in. Right, a good question. Well, good step. Uh huh. That's your mailing address right there. Yeah, you put your information too here. Yeah, right. Put the tracking number of what you on the when you're sending it to them. That tracking number. Right. No, you want the tracking number you want is the one that's being delivered to them. Because that's how you say, hey, this is what I sent you. Here's your tracking number. That's the number you put on that form. Uh, I recommend using United States Postal Service Priority Mail. Some people have done FedEx. What I've seen with the FedEx and UPS next day stuff, they take longer. You got to remember the post office does mail, and these government offices take priority over the United States Postal Service than any other process. So I would use the post office. Every one I did, I used the post office with the tracking information. Uh, and to save yourself some time, I went to one of those self-serve kiosks, had my stuff ready, put my self-address, got the posters, put it on them, and sent it, and then I could track it. Uh, Things like that. You had another question? You got it? All right. Who wanted North Carolina? Shaka. All right, North Carolina. Let's see. I never looked up North Carolina, but I'm about to look it up now. All right, let's leave that form up. This is one of the ways that I do it. I'll go to Google and I'll put that state and put nc.gov because somewhere you go there, you're gonna find what you're looking for. Right there. But I'm sure North Carolina uses Vital Check. So this is pretty much probably the long way to do it. Certificate. I'm spelling that wrong. Man, go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening. Right. Do you have a birth certificate? Okay. All right, but was that ever registered down at the county? Okay. I'm trying to see. They need this ain't the place to find it because let's see, Health and Human Services or Vital Statistics. Let's see, Vital Records. There we go. Uh, Birth certificates. What can you get here? Here it is, right at the bottom. You see it? Or order a certificate, and then it says current processing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste that link into the chat. Can you see the chat for you? There you go, and you can click on that on your computer. All right, and here's the application form right here. What I notice here, they're not saying anything about Vital Check for North Carolina, and here's the fees down at the bottom. They do. Oh, they do use Vital Check. Here it is, right there. See it right here. So you can do it that way. To me, that's the easiest way to do it because they'll do everything for you. So because you pick what you need it for on Vital Check, and it'll take you where you need to go. You know. No, well, what Vital Check is a third party vendor. What they do is they facilitate your order to the state, the county, and the state agencies. They facilitate. They're like a go between. But it's them that's it's North Carolina is going to be the one that's going to authenticate the birth certificate. All right. Now let's see if we can find out how do we authenticate birth certificate. Let's do a search for that. Oh, see, they got no. See, they make it real hard to find that. But I know if you go to Vital Check, they'll have the instructions for you. And actually, there's a number. I think there's a number you can call them and ask them. Um, See, it wasn't as easy as New York, where it just had it right there on the website. I'm sure it's here, but uh, finding it is the thing. Right. So, all right, let's see. We're gonna try to find this for you, brother. I know if you go here, go ahead. Go, I'm listening, Khalifa. Hmm. Right. Right. Birth certificate. Yeah, it is. That's good because there's a caller on here that is from Florida. L Solutions is. Are you there? L Solutions. I suggest use Vital Check for yours, and here's the fees if you're gonna do it. If you're doing it, uh, search fee includes one copy. Then Vital Check is gonna charge that fee. So those are your two fees, and then shipping. That's not as bad as New Jersey. New Jersey was is like $60 just for the certificate. So yeah, well yeah, that's even easier because then you could possibly do all of the your authentication right there. It just depends. Let's see this frequently. I don't know. Every state is different. Oh, because we just looked at Hawaii, and Hawaii does it in the circuit court or just one of those courts. You see, so you have to ask them specifically where they do the authentication process at. They ain't gonna let me look at that without a password. Yeah, just go down there and talk to them. But we know where to get it now. All right. But remember, when they're asking you what country, Taiwan. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You put this is going to be your formal address wherever you get mail at. This is where you're going to want to ship it to. No, 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 no. That's where you want to receive it. No, when I say Taiwan, the what country you want to do the authentication for it, right here, you put Taiwan. Right. That's to make sure you get an authenticated birth certificate, not an apostille. Got it? All right. And make sure they're very formal. So you live in the U.S., you put U.S. over here, right? And U.S. here, if you mailing it to U.S. If you if you mailing it to the same place that you have up here, you just check this box, and you don't got to fill that out. All right. All right. No problem. All right. You got a question? Any more? Okay. All right. Anybody else got a question? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I I did not. No, we didn't get there yet. We was waiting on you. Oh, but you saw? Did you see this part right here? This part because that was the. This is going to be the last part of the authentication process right here. This page that I'm on now. Are you able to see the screen? Uh, yeah, I'm talking to you, L Solutions. Yes. Oh, y'all don't have a computer because it's easy to this. Okay, I'm recording this, so you'll be able to see it. All right, all right. Gonna be kind of hard with you not being there. Okay, let's go to Florida. Khalifa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, where do I go in Florida?
Florida, you go to it real quick.
I'm in Florida.gov right now.
All right. Give me 1 second.
They taking notes, so they can't see it on the screen. They just on the phone. So we gonna have
Okay.
to.
Wait, this. I'm gonna make it better. You're gonna go to go. I just went and put in the Secretary of State, Florida.
Secretary of State, Florida. Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
King. If I could ask,
go ahead.
and when I click on the link, it says go to meet me at hindsight, and it's still saying that you aren't in the, you haven't even started your meeting. So
I
I'm
did.
clicking on the link, but I don't know why I'm in the wrong place. It says join my meeting,
Just
but
hit join.
some reason I'm not getting prompted, or I'm not able to see what you're saying. See, it says waiting for Akeem Barber to start the meeting.
I'm already. I'm starting.
Yeah, you started a long time ago, so I don't know if
Yeah.
I got the wrong link or what.
Here, let me.
And it's waiting for me to start the meeting.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can. What is this?
So I don't know why it was working on our end over here. I must have the wrong link.
Uh, I gave you the link that. Let's see. Let me give you another link. Make sure that's the right one. That's it. All right. What's your email address?
Solutionmike at
Hang.
gmail.com.
You said Solutions Mike, Mike.
Yeah, solution, just solution, not plural, no S.
No S.
Solutionmike at
Okay.
gmail.com.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send you this link.
Okay.
See if this will work for you. All right. You should be getting it now. See if that'll work.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to take you off course. I do have some questions just in regards to maybe the basics of the authentication process of the birth certificate.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. I have the.
Yeah, get in there and see if you can get in now.
Okay.
'Cause I want you because Khalifa's gonna go over Florida for you.
All right. Yeah, this is different. What's new? Want to share?
Mhm.
Password. Okay.
All right.
Looks like this one works. Yes.
All right.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking at yes.
Okay. You see my screen?
Florida State, Florida. Yes.
Right.
Secretary. Yes.
All right. Good. All right. Oh, now what was that website, Khalifa? Can you put it in the chat so I can click on it?
Man, my computer just crashed.
All right. Tell me where to go. Okay. Secretary of State, Florida, right? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just pulled up. This might get me straight there.
Yeah, it took you straight there. Florida is real easy, bro. Okay, good.
There it is. It took me right there. Procedure for notarial or apostille certification. Is that correct?
You get another certification. Yup.
And here are your instructions.
Okay.
Uh, that's for the. Now, where did you order the birth certificate from? Because this is how to get it authenticated. Oh, here it is right here.
You can get it from the, wherever you are in the state. You can get it from Vital Statistics, and that's gonna be $14 to pick it up from Vital Statistics. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get your certificate of live birth long form, you're gonna order it from Vital Check, which is done out of Jacksonville, which is
Right.
Duval County.
Yeah, I'm on that screen where it says vital check, and then they got the application for the birth certificate here. They got Creole, Spanish. Wow, y'all got it. Y'all got it going on.
I have a question.
Yeah, that's the first state I saw. They let you get multi languages other than Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
have to have the certificate of live birth to authenticate what we're talking about, or can you, you know, I know there's certificate of live birth, and then there's a birth certificate.
right.
And can you
Uh,
use?
you
Because I
would.
got my certificate of live birth today in the mail, but I'm wondering in my mom's case, she
Mhm.
has her this certificate, her birth certificate, but she wasn't born in the hospital, but she has a midwife listed as the person that brought her forward, and she has the signature, but it doesn't have the doctor's
Right.
time that she was.
Boy,
Does that work?
is that all she have? Is that all she have on
That's
the
all she
record?
has. I also went on the site to gain access to my certificate of live birth. I was wondering, do we have to do that process? But that's all she has presently.
Right. Oh, you can get that authenticated. Yes,
Okay.
that can be authenticated.
Okay.
Oh, and now, is it possible for her to order a long form?
Um,
At any time, did she ever go and take that because she was born in a home, right?
yes.
Right? Did they ever go and register that information down at the county or the state?
Um, as
Does she
far as I
remember?
know, I'm looking at it now. It says certified copy, but it does not have a seal on it.
Okay.
Like, but it says certified copy, and it was notarized.
Okay.
Um, Who was the state registrar? Was it a state registrar that notarized it, or just a yes, regular sir. person? The state register is Wilson T. Sorles, MD, the state registrar at the time.
Okay.
So then you can verify that notary through the Secretary of State.
Right.
Okay.
You have to verify that notary. Because that's what you're doing in a sense when you go to the state level. You're verifying the state registrar, that notary that notarized that document. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, she can do that.
Yeah, she can
And
do
then
that.
another thing you can do, you can call Vital Check just to see if your mom has a long form on file with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll give you some information on
And
that.
they show you in this application the years uh that you can look for these documents. It says certification registered birth 1917 to 2003. And just it's always good to read the instructions to see what applies to you specifically.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Yes. I definitely have. I was on the site. I'm looking at exactly where you guys are. That's how I have attained my birth certificate. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, I assume now I'm in question in the next process. I know we got to
Yeah.
go through the Secretary of State
One.
now, or send it to the Secretary of State because we're in California. So we don't attach any declarations or anything before
Right.
we
You don't want to send an affidavit with it during the authentication process. After you get it fully authenticated, then you attach your affidavit, and that's really for you,
yeah.
right? Until you need it, and have say if you have or any court issues, you make a copy of all of that and have that notarized, and then authenticate that notary, and you use those certified copies or true and exact copies in your defense of anything that you're doing. All right. Like we'll go back over that again. You said the last step after you do it at the state is the page you're looking at right now. This is the Secretary of State's website, which is travel.state.gov, Department of State. And it's showing you how to authenticate. Of course, you're going to be mailing yours in. This is where you mail it to, right here, right there. And then the form you're going to use is a DS 4194, which is this form here,
You said DS
dash 4194. Right. And you fill this form out. I'll go over it again. You put your name, telephone number, country you live in, mailing address here. And this here is for somebody if somebody's representing you and they did it for you. So that you will not need to fill this out here. Section 3, put your shipping details, delivery method, whether it be United States Post Office, specify what it is, tracking number. I suggest you use what is it, priority mail with the tracking information on it. And if it's the same as the mailing address is the same, the shipping address, you just click that button. You don't have to fill that out. But if you're gonna have it mailed somewhere else, you fill this out. Uh, Country you're gonna have use the authenticated document in will be Taiwan. Number of documents, it will be one if it's one birth certificate, two if it's two, and then document type birth certificate, and then put total number of documents and the estimated cost. Right. So in this one, um, if you have a lot, you can just fill that out on the second page. But most people don't need but this one page here. So that's it. So here it is, that address again. Here. What's up, Khalifa?
Yeah, one thing I like to add, make sure don't forget to put a self-address and stamped envelope in there so they can return it to you.
Right. When you mailing it to them, you want to have the just to run through that real quick. Um, what I did was I took the priority mail envelope, uh, and I put my documents in that, and then I put another priority mail envelope inside of that with the postage on it already. So sealed it up, put it in there. Once they authenticated, they put it back in my return envelope and mail that. I did tracking both ways so that I know when they did it and when it's on the way back to me. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way I do it. So I know that it's on its way back. I can check, you know, and I know when it's going to be delivered. Right. All right.
So there is no certification. So I don't need to do anything as far as I have the birth certificate in my possession now. Now it's about doing the form, the DS 4194,
Well, if you have,
and filling that out.
right.
And
Well,
then
you fill that out. That 4194 is the last process of the authenticate process. Remember, you got to do it in your state first. You got to authenticate in your state first before you send it to the Secretary of State.
okay, so you're saying the secretary, the state that I reside in.
No, the state that you were born in.
Okay,
Wherever that birth certificate was issued or created is the state you need to authenticate in. I'm gonna give you an off the wall example. If you were if you live in Germany but was born in Georgia of the United States, you need to authenticate in Georgia and then authenticate in Virginia, Secretary of State. You got it?
yes.
And but you just have all your documents shipped to Germany. I'm just giving you an off the wall example. So you'll get the point that wherever that document was created is where you're going to authenticate first. And then the last step is going down to the United States Secretary of State and having it authenticated there.
Okay. So I do nothing with it in the state of California where I am. My next move would be to get it authenticated in the
Only
state of Florida.
right. You have to get it off to Florida if that birth certificate was created there. Right. Now,
And also,
go ahead, Khalifa.
yeah, also in Florida, they do have a form you can fill out, just like that DS 4194, or you can make your own form like I did. And you just put your name, your address, what country, which is Taiwan, like King been saying all night. Definitely put Taiwan on there, and you can actually go on the online and find that form, or you can make your own.
I
You have two
just
choices in the form.
I just put the link to the Florida website for the certification and everything right there in the chat. So you can just click that and it'll take you straight to that website. You see it?
Oh, I don't even see chat. I don't even see a chat. I am looking at the screen though and seeing that
I'm
you
gonna
have
email it to you now. Hang on, I'm gonna email it to you. I'm going to email that to you. What was that email address again?
solution Mike
All I need is
at
that. I can pull it up. Should be there. Solution.
oh you know what I see the chat now. I
You
see
see
it.
it? You see the link?
Yes, notaries.gov.state.florida.us. That's the chat, right?
Right,
Yes, sir.
right. There it is, right there. Actually, I'm gonna go to all of these places that I did North Carolina already. We did that. Um, Puerto Rico. This was for Marie. Um, so she'll have that. I think she already did hers. Um, the let's go back to this form, to this here one. All the links is gonna be in the chat. There you go. Anybody who need New York, do that one too. Any other states other than Florida? We did New York, Puerto Rico. Uh,
California, if you don't mind, I'm going to be doing my daughter's.
okay, California.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Spelled that wrong. All right. This is supposed to be it. All right. This is my first. Oh, here it is, right at the top. Look at that. Bam. Notary Public and Authentications. Okay. Apostille or certifications. Here it is, right there. How you authenticate.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah. So it's pretty much the same. I mean, if I wanted to look up another state, it's pretty much.
Pretty much go to the Secretary of State's website and then it'll give you, that's where they'll give you all of the information you need and on down where you need to go get first, because authenticate all type of documents. uh Birth certificates is not the only thing they do it. You just want to know their process for authentications, and here it is right here.
Okay.
um right there. That's your key because I think everybody pretty much know how to order the birth certificate. Got that um,
Yeah.
down pat. It's just the authentication process. People are getting confused on where they start at with that. You know, some states require county level authentications, like in New York requires what you call a letter of exemplification. But when you go to Vital Check and order it, it knows that it needs that, and it's gonna go after that specific document for you. So I didn't have to request a letter of exemplification. I just put in authentication, and when they sent me my birth certificate, it had that letter of exemplification with it. Then I had to mail it back to the county clerk and have them authenticate that, and then I had to mail it back to the Secretary of State of New York, and they authenticated it. Then I went over to Virginia. Y'all got it?
So Virginia is the last place
That's
after
the
you have authenticated in your state
correct.
that pretty much the process then is coming back. Then you're able to, at that point, attach your declaration saying that you are the
Right.
owner. Okay.
And then get that notarized and have that authenticated. Now, that's the part where you can go to your state and do it. Like the affidavit, you don't have to send it back. Like if you're born in California or Florida to authenticate the signature of the notary, you just authenticate wherever you get it notarized. You authenticate that notary, whatever state they're in, because that's the only place that can be authenticated because they belong to that state notary. Got it?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. And any other questions?
And just for my overstanding, so it can be done, even if it's not the certificate of live birth, it can be done with just a birth certificate.
Some states will not do a regular birth certificate. Like New York will not do the regular certificate. It will only do the long form with the letter of exemplification along with it. You understand? So it just depends on the state. Some states will allow you to just do that regular one. But you want to go after that long form. That's the one that has all the information on it. The regular one, in some cases, some people that's all they can get. But um but I haven't ran into anybody yet that had that issue. And here it is. They even got a little PDF on apostille and in California.
But from what I've heard, so we're not supposed to do the apostille, right? We're
Right.
just supposed to do the authentication. That's what
Right.
I heard
But
you say.
see, you want authentication. When you say the country, the right country, it's going to be the authentication. If you use Taiwan, you're going to get authenticated. If you use a country that's in their Hague Convention, they're going to give you an apostille. The reason why I say apostille because that's how they hide it.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking for it, it's saying apostille. But when you read in there, it'll start saying, well, you want to authenticate the record, blah, 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 blah. You see?
Okay.
That's how their people are getting confused. They're going in there. Well, I see apostille. He said authenticate. It's in there. You just have to read it, and uh, it'll say it. Now, New York again says apostille or authentication. But then we was in Hawaii. I'll show you real quick. Oh, where's Hawaii? Hawaii says apostille right here. See it?
Yeah.
Now, when you read it, it'll say authenticated right there, over here. You see? Now, when you start to read it, then if you go on down, it'll start telling you about the Hague Convention, whether you're going to get a apostille or not. See? And see, the third is called authentication. See? Right there. But it starts off here, And people read that and say, well, that's not what I want, and don't read the whole thing and think that they can't get it done. That's a But if you read it, they got it hidden, you know, in here. Because they have to be able to authenticate because a lot of these countries are not part of that convention. So authentication is all they'll accept. So they have to do it. Here it is right here. The only place you see apostille is up here in these titles. But when you go reading through here, you got it here. But most of them saying authenticating. See? And then they trick you again right here at the bottom. If you require further information about applying for an apostille, call this number. You see, those are the little tricks they do. They throw you off what you're looking for. That is not, trust me, that is not done by accident. They do it on purpose because they know that's what we're doing. See, so I'm pulling up that last step again. I think I covered pretty much everything. Um, Unless somebody else got a question.
Yeah, seeing if we're clear on that last step, the DS form, John Kerry process.
Right,
Um, I always use for my mailing address now the non-domestic without the U.S. with no zip code.
right.
And I was wondering if by doing that on this form may throw up some
I,
red flags of possible
I,
fraud.
I would not do that. Just do the regular
Okay.
because it's not gonna. You they're not. They want to see a regular address, and you got to remember these people are state workers, and giving them anything that's going to confuse them, to cause questions, to slow your process down, I wouldn't do that. You only want to do that when you start discharging and your court papers and stuff to make sure that you're not in their jurisdiction. This here, it doesn't even matter what you put on that form.
Cool, cool.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Who else had a question?
Oh yeah, one more thing. Can we get an example of how that affidavit that we would attach to it at the end?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mine is very simple. I can let you see the affidavit. That's a good question. Uh, where is my pages? That's iBooks. Yeah. Let's pull up. While that's doing that, this is a book y'all might want to get. Black Root Science. Man, that's a deep book right there. I got it left there because that's where I'm at on that book. I'm reading it every morning. I read some pages. Okay.
You said Black Book Science.
Black Roots sign. Black Roots. You can see it right here on my screen.
Okay.
Um. All right. No, this ain't what I want. Where is my? This is not what I want. This is what I
Who is the author?
want. I can't tell you. It's a guy who's have some information that was what I was looking for. All right, hang on. Let me get this form he's asking about real quick. Hang on. I was just looking at that form. Why can't I find it? I got it printed out over here on my desk, but you can't see that. Where is it? I'm missing some documents, man. Let me see. What is it? affidavit. Everything that says affidavit. There it is. I think this is the correct one. This is not the right one. This is the one when I was, well, this is basically what it is, but I was doing this for my son, but this is how it looks. You take this out if it's for you, and you want to put in exactly how it is printed on the birth certificate. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, this is just a sample. Jonah sent this to me a long time ago. You want it how it is on that birth certificate. If it's up or lower, type it in that way. If it's all uppercase, oh, well, when you put I, you don't want to put all uppercase. You want to put it in your natural, yeah. And then party named. Then you put that in all caps if it's on all caps. There, right here. You put exactly how it is. But see, mine's is upper and lower. So I put upper and lower, upper and lower. So, or you can put a lower here, all lowercase. That preserves all your rights. But here, right here is the important one, how it is written on that birth certificate. No all caps here, because you're not dead. You're real. And then you have your thing. We actually have this template. This is an old. I was looking for the other one. Hang on, let me see if I can find the one that I actually use. This is old. See, it says 2013 on it. Um, oh, now it's giving me what I'm looking for. Let's see. Let's see. Open. That's not the one I wanted. Let's see what this one says. Okay, this is more current. There it is. That's mine right there. It's on the. It's a template that I have on the website, on our website. It's there. You can get that. And all you gotta do is take this out, put this in, put your name in there. Go to radio. Let me put it in here. Oh man, I'm going. I must be getting tired. uh, there it is. Go there and you'll see the template there. It wasn't actually court. It was actually a meeting that they try to make look like it's court. You remember Jonah said they do mock courts? It was that's and I knew that's what it was, you know. But it was just he was asking all of these questions because I got it clean, but they want to see how much I know before they go pull out their guns. You see what I'm saying? That's how they do you. They test you to see how far they can push you. You know, and they actually, when you end up when you stand on it, they actually respect you for that after that. You seem like you got an adversary in front of you, but after they finish, they realize, hey, this guy's not a fool. He's not just out here playing games. You know, I left there, we shook hands, and I went on about my business. You know, but it's just it was a business. Basically, you know what it was? A business meeting. That's all it was. And you have to think about it like that. You know, they're trying not to give you something, and you're trying to get something, and they want to see how far they can push you. So, but I put the link right there on that. What is it? 40? That's how much it is for that template. Yeah, that's the price. I based it off of Jonah's price, what he got on his website. But that's your counter deed. You need to look that up. Counter deed. That's what that really is, a counter deed. But you got the webinar. You're gonna get a copy of this webinar. Dude. So try to read that. That's a freebie. All right, for whoever was on here. You see the whole thing written out. All you gotta do is type it. Save yourself some money. Um, but that's it. Who else got a question before I turn it in?
This might be off the subject. Is there anything that can be done with? I recall hearing on one of the hindsight shows that the accounts are still open even after someone has died. As far as death certificates, is that
Counts never close. No, the counts never close. That is true.
so you can go through this process with a death certificate of authentication to
Oh, now that's a question for Jonah because I asked him about that because my mother-in-law passed a year ago, and he said, "Did we authenticate her birth certificate first?" And we didn't, and we didn't have that, and he didn't go any further than that. But what I would do, get on the show tomorrow and ask Jonah that question, and he will some for some reason on consultation Wednesday, Jonah will be going in and giving all kind of information for free and gives you reasons and why it doesn't this, that, and the other. Uh, so I would ask that question. That's a very good question. You know, hmm? He was saying something about the death certificate. Can you uh, authenticate the death certificate? Does the account close ever close? No, accounts never close. We know that. Uh, uh,
oh, that's gonna be yeah. I don't think you're gonna go into that on the air.
because that's probate uh
Yeah.
court. Well, everything's probate really. Um, but yeah, I know there's, I'm sure there's a way, but that might be a private consultation. But I would, hey, ask him the question and see what he say.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Cause my brain was spinning on it too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know right now with my mother-in-law, they're tapping into that account. You know, and we have
When I
10.
heard you guys say the account is never closed on the past shows, I was thinking, well, that must mean that you have access even after the death certificate has been
Hmm.
made available. So that's
Hmm.
that me to ask that question.
Right. Put it like this: I asked Jonah that same question, and I got. He asked me, "Did we do the authenticated birth certificate?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, no, it's nothing you can do." That's how it was answered to me. If the because this was after the
What's
fact.
the site for y'all? If y'all want to see who's tapping into your account. Okay. GMEI
Hang on.
utility.
G.
D as in girl, M as in market, E as in entity, I as in identifier, utility. Could you say that one more time, good brother? Yep. G as in G as in global,
GMI
M as
utility
in
website.
market, E as in entity, I as identifier, utility. Okay. So girl, mark, entity, Idaho. Yup. Yup. Yes, it's a girl mark
I'm putting it
entity.
into the chat.
Yeah, and put your all you do is put your social in there with your dashes, and voila, you're gonna see who's tapping in.
Wow.
Illinois, Cayman Islands, everywhere gonna come up on your account.
Wow.
So that's girl, mark, entity, Idaho, and is there a U involved in that or no? Yeah, utility. Utility. Okay, utility.
Utility.
Oh, but not the word utility, just no, the word
Just
utility.
you.
Put the word utility. Oh, the word utility. Yeah, it's GMEI utility. Okay, utility, and that's .com. .org. .org. Okay. Okay.
So, do we have to register on this?
No, just go in and plug your social man with the dashes, and you'll see it. Everything will start generating.
Okay, I can't do this on here. All right, everybody. I put that link in the chat. Somebody's asking, "Did you register?" Did I'm asking whoever got that? Did you get a birth certificate for the newborn? That's the question. Dewan,
Oh,
who's Dewan? Go ahead and speak up.
he on the phone line?
I says he got a mic, but they ain't saying
Can you
nothing.
hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Right. Yeah.
You can?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, no, well, I'm actually going to pick up the birth certificate in the morning.
So y'all, what I meant by registered, so you already applied for one when it was born. Had the lady came in and said you need to fill all this stuff out. Y'all did that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Um.
Should we not have done that?
Preferably not, but you did it. Because now what you got to do is do the same thing we're just taught on you how to do. Authenticate that birth certificate and claim it as the owner. Good thing is it's just starting out, so it hasn't become a registered security yet, but it will be. Uh, so you can go ahead and claim ownership of it now. You can,
Okay.
or the mother can, whoever wants to do that.
I guess only the parents can do that, right?
Parents, adopted parents can do it. Right. You would or grandparents if they're the ones that's alive and they are the custodians of the child.
Now, let me ask you this. What if you have what if, for lack of better words, just the terminology I'm using, I don't mean anything by it. If you have an illegal immigrant that actually became legal and obtained a social security card as an adult.
Right. So let me ask you this: the you said illegal or legal?
Well, legal now.
Legal now. Okay.
Yeah.
So they have naturalized.
Okay.
Have they naturalized?
No.
Not officially went down in the naturalized and got sit. citizenship here in the United
Oh
States?
no, not yet. No,
Not
no,
yet.
no.
Okay.
In the process.
So, and they were born where? What country?
In Kenya.
Okay. You would have to get that birth certificate from Kenya, authenticate that there.
Okay.
Now, you have any uh papers? What is it? A green card, or they call it green card still?
Not yet, but in the process of obtaining it.
So how do they become legal? Through marriage?
Correct.
Technically, you're not legal, even though you're married. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because I was married to a foreigner too. In order for her to become legal, she has to go down and register. But why would she do that? I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Keep her the status you have, because when you do your estate, you can use her as uh what is it, the trustee of your estate, because she's a foreigner. So I would keep her status the way it is. I wouldn't
Okay.
go through all of that, you know.
In Kenya.
Right? Yeah, because she's a foreigner. So
Okay.
right now she don't have a social. Does she have a social or a TIN
Yes, she has a social
for the sake of working?
for the sake of working. Yeah, you're right. In school,
It's okay. She's here on a what you call an education visa.
and the education visa has expired.
Oh wow. Okay. You get really complicated. All right.
Well, we don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah.
So tomorrow,
That's a consultation. Yeah.
so tomorrow
Uh huh.
for our daughter birth certificate.
Right.
What's the first thing we should do, or what's the next step we should do?
Have it authenticated. Make sure you get the long form of it. Say you want the long form.
Now, can we authenticate hers before we, as the parents, authenticate ours?
You can authenticate any birth certificate at any time, but
Okay.
you could become the owner of that birth certificate. But it's all to make it official. You need to do yours. You were born here, right?
Yes, in
Okay,
North Carolina.
right. So the baby is considered a United States citizen because it's born here.
Okay.
Um, but without the proper paperwork, the mother, if it is some issues, they can cause problems.
Okay.
But you are in good standing because she has a child here and you guys are married. That helps. But you still, under their rules, you still supposed to go and naturalize.
Now, what about situations where there's a mother and a father that are not married?
Um, the child, that child that's a U.S. citizen that's here,
Okay.
still holds her here. As long as she don't go killing nobody, they ain't gonna bother her too much.
No,
Committing any high crimes and running drugs and stuff like that. But what I would do is get on the show tomorrow. Uh, Jonah is consultation Wednesday on tomorrow at 7 on hindsight. Ask those same questions because I'm sure Jonah can go into more depth with that.
okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right. If that's and no more questions, I'm shutting it down. I'm tired. She's asking another question.
No, you can hear. Go ahead.
Uh huh.
Go ahead.
Naturalized. You yeah, you can do that, but what I'm saying to you is, why would you want to become a 14th Amendment citizen when you're not? You're foreign. You're where we're trying to get. Yeah. For him, oh yeah, he's from here, so he all he needs to do is authenticate his birth certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do to claim ownership of it. Well, that naturalization doesn't refer to him. That's you, because you are. When I say that's the term they use called naturalization, become a U.S. citizen. That's the term they use. That's the term. That's what I was referring to when I said naturalized.
I think what she's referring to is claiming your Morris citizenship.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's what she claiming. Uh, Becoming the birth certificate. When you authenticate the birth certificate, you're claiming ownership, and you're saying what you're saying is you're claiming ownership of that corporation. That's what you're doing,
Correct.
right? Um, some people use the term. I don't even want to use that term because that's a bad term to me. For me, it's the S word, but I don't want to use it. Um, right.
All right. Okay. What's the S word?
Well, for y'all, since y'all sound like y'all new sovereign, that's a term I don't like using because when you look up that sovereign word, that's a organization created by white supremacists, and we melanated people picked it up along the way for some reason and started using it. And the reason why it's not a good term to use, because if you use that term anywhere around law enforcement, they have been given jurisdiction to take you out, treat you with extreme prejudice. It's considered a terrorist group and a threat to the it's a threat to national security. Right. Right. So that's why I don't like using that word. And let me give you another one. Using the word more is another. It using is on the terrorist watch list. So yes, are we Moors? Yes and no. That's something they called us hundreds of years ago. That's the term to describe us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what our ancestors called us. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we have to be careful the terms we're using. Uh, so when you say what you want to do is you becoming private. That's the term.
Private.
Private instead of public. Because right now you're public, meaning that you using the social, you claiming yourself as destroyer man. That's public. You want to call yourself private. Okay. That term is not on the terrorist watch list. And it's a term they use in the Constitution and even on the dollar bill or your money. If you look at a dollar bill, it says it. All debts, public and private. You see?
Uh-huh.
Right. That's the term you want to use. See, your money has duality. It has a public side and a private side.
Mm.
And you are living under duality. You have a public side and a private side. You see?
Okay.
And that's the term that I like to use to keep everything politically correct.
Right.
Because when you start doing these processes, and they're gonna automatically throw that term at you. You're doing sovereign. I'm tired of the sovereign stuff. They throw that at you. You have to shut that down quick. No, I'm offended by that. I'm not sovereign, and I don't. And you continue. I had to tell a lawyer that. I said, you continue to use that term, I'm gonna get you for defamation of character. And I could get him for that because when I look up the term, they're considered a terrorist watch. I'm not part of any terrorist group. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
He never used it again when I said that. You have to shut that down because the people who have used it that I know have, they've been kissed. They were kissing asphalt, dragged out of their cars, treated one woman. They snatched a wig off her head, everything. Treated her like a man in the street when she used that term. And she didn't couldn't figure out why they did her like that. And then she told me the story. I said, they did you like that because you said that. So
Okay.
they're allowed to do it and get away with it. You know. So,
Should we use the term private citizen, or should we just keep the word citizen out of it as well?
what is the word? Look up the word citizen, and that'll tell you whether you should use that citizen word. Because it says, 14th Amendment citizen.
Gotcha.
Right,
Okay.
right.
It's private.
Private. Um, I'm using a private remedy, you know. All right, I'm gonna shut it down for the night. Khalifa, you got anything to say? I don't even think Khalifa there anymore.
Nah, man, excellent webinar, bro. People need to go back and check it out, man. They're gonna learn a lot about how to authenticate, man.
All right, y'all. I thank y'all for
Okay,
joining. Go ahead.
also on Thursday, check out the Temple of Commerce at 7 p.m. We're going in on various different topics, so come check us out.
All right.
Thank you so much, Khalifa and Akeem L. Your information is much appreciated.
All right. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you and everyone else that's on the line. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, thank y'all.
All right.